Task Management and Time Blocking Podcast, Episode 7. So, you're thinking about registering for the Task Management and Time Blocking Virtual Summit, or maybe you've already registered. You want to make the most of the experience, a learning experience, like any growth opportunity that life presents you, but you want to make sure that you choose wisely. Why? Well, there's more to do, more to see in terms of videos, more people to meet, more conversations to have than you can do in the 3 days that we've allowed for, even if you don't get much sleep. How can you make the most out of the event? In this short episode, I'll let you know how you can maximize the opportunity. It's the Task Management and Time Blocking Podcast, and today I'm talking about the Task Management and Time Blocking Virtual Summit coming up on March 3rd to 5th, 2022. Keep listening. Welcome back. So, if this is your first time listening, you may not know that this podcast follows a particular kind of design, a problem solution arrangement, where we delve into a problem, define it by beating it to death, and then we look at solutions. And finally, we look at how to implement them. And today is no different than the others, even though I'm the only guest that we're having on the podcast today. We follow the same format. And the idea is to give you practical solutions to everyday problems. So here's the problem that we know people have who come to the virtual summit. So they think about registering, or they're on the verge of registering, or they just registered and they've not attended the summit before. It's the first time, although there's been 3 summits so far. The time blocking summit came first, then the task management and time blocking summit came last year, and this year is the third iteration. And as they're wondering, should I register, or what happens if I register, or now that I've registered, how can I get the most from this particular experience? So this is a 3-day virtual summit, and there are a bunch of all kinds of different things to do, and all kinds of ideas flying around, all kinds of opportunities. But how do you make sure that you don't kind of waste the time? How do you make sure you don't end up watching the wrong videos? How do you make it wrong, talking to the wrong people? How do you prevent that regret that comes at the end of the third day on Saturday night if you're at Eastern time, when you realize that the summit is over and you didn't get what you wanted? How can you prevent that regret from happening? And how can you walk away with that feeling of growth and learning? That feeling that you first had when you first tried to improve your productivity or your task management, and you did the very first things and they made a difference, and you were hooked from then on, right? You were so proud of yourself because it felt so good. Well, how do you get that feeling and make sure that you don't walk away from the 3 days without it? So I'm going to say that this is not just a one-time problem. You know, there are other opportunities like this one which are going to be coming our way, other virtual opportunities, where in a short space of time there'll be a whole bunch of speakers, and there'll be an audience of people who are fans, and they'll all be looking to accomplish results from being together in a short space of time. The internet allows us to do these things, worldwide audience, that you can't do if you're going to fly to a city to attend an in-person conference. So maybe if you get some solutions with respect to making the most of this opportunity, you could apply it elsewhere to other kinds of online opportunities. Because I would say typically most people don't think about it before. Most summits just kind of send you one, take it to a registration page, and then they send you an agenda, right? In other words, they're kind of encouraging you to just kind of wing it. And good luck as you wing it. Without a plan, it's not likely that you'll make the most of the opportunity. But the while you miss the opportunity, you miss the possibility of making some real movement. The truth is, the summits aren't all that useful in terms of telling you how to make the most of it. They don't give you the inside scoop. They don't say, here's how you approach an event like this, and here's how you make the most of it. I'm going to show you how we're going to help you to make the most of this particular event, which should help you make the most of events in the future. So you don't feel like you're just kind of making it up as you go along. Because I know you want growth. I used the word before, but for people who are not beginners, and I'm going to think that you're not a beginner because you're here. You're someone who has started to improve your productivity consciously for whatever reason, and you've already probably had some gains. And looking at another year of continuous growth or of further gains or of steady steps, I'm going to tell you that that's pretty rare. Most people tend to plateau. Not the beginners, but people who have been in the improvement game for a while in terms of their productivity, task management, or time blocking, tend to kind of level out. And that feeling of continuous growth does not continue. So, my invitation is to engage in this question with some seriousness because your growth could be at stake. And if you take what I'm saying literally and follow the steps that I'm suggesting, maybe you could start to get some of the results right away. So if you haven't registered, I'm gonna suggest that you register. And when you register, were some links that you were taken to, including some content, and there's some follow-up emails that also show you how to get access to my book. And all these can get you learning and get you going between the time that you register and the time that the event starts. And I recommend that you take as much of these resources, take advantage of them as much as you can before the event actually starts. So, having said that, in terms of the challenge, what is the summit actually made of? So, as I mentioned, it's 3 days, but what you may not know is that it's 3 days, 24 hours per day. So, how do we accomplish that? Well, we do have live sessions, which are run from about 9:30 a.m. in the morning till 6 p.m. Eastern time. But in addition to these live sessions, which are made up of talks, interviews, panel discussions, debriefs. We actually have a debate this year, and we actually have a whole track on GTD, just GTD alone. Um, in addition to all of that, those live sessions, we also have pre-recorded sessions, and many of the people who go live have also produced pre-recordings. So they kind of play together. But if you're tuning into the summit from somewhere else in the world, and it's not doesn't happen to be on a compatible time zone, a nice time zone that makes it easy, you can tune in and listen to all the pre-recordings on your own time. Okay? And not only that, we want the opportunity to be transformative. So if you attend live, we encourage you to engage with the people who are other people who are either delivering the content in terms of the people on the stage, the experts, the podcasters, the bloggers, the thought leaders, the app developers, but you also engage with other summiteers. And you have conversations with them about what you're getting, how to get more, what they're getting, possibility if you use this idea over here and that idea over here, and have they heard of this? You have these conversations because how often can you meet a group of other productivity enthusiasts in one place from around the world? This doesn't happen very often. And that's if you're attending live. But if you're not attending live, you should also know that we have a 24-hour online community. And in the online community, you can attend and talk with other people who are attending from around the world. So you don't have to miss out in having this opportunity be transformational. By talking with other people online, seeing the pre-recording, you can have an experience that is awesome, amazing, and makes a big difference and moves the needle. You don't have to be here live. So that's part of the design that we've set in. So I've mentioned the fact that you can come online 24 hours a day and you can come live also during the working hours on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, March 3rd to 5th. But if you can't come at all, or you're going to miss sessions because of other commitments, I recommend that you acquire the All Access Pass. And that's a combination, it's a put together sort of package of all the videos from that were pre-recorded and that were recorded live during the summit. So we package them all up and make them available to you a few days afterwards. They're on the package, the all access pass is on sale before the summit starts. Then the price goes up a little bit during the summit, and then after the summit, it goes up to its full price of $249. That's US dollars. And it's the perfect way to really make up for any sessions that are lost. And some people get the best of both. They purchase the all access pass and enjoy the summit sessions that are live, the ones that they want to go to. And they're completely sort of stress free in doing so. Kind of a smart alternative. And I recommend the all access pass. And yes, I'm being self serving here because it does help us to underwrite the cost of the summit and to build a better summit next year. And I still recommend it. To make the most of the opportunity, and once again, I want to point back to the fact that we want this to be a transformational opportunity for you. We provide a workbook, and the workbook is your blueprint. So this is the antidote to the winging it that I mentioned before. Instead of just showing up and kind of just watching to see whatever is happening in the moment and watching everything go by and getting Saturday night and feeling as if everything just missed you, we provide you with a workbook that goes out a few days to everyone who registered, a few days before the summit starts. And in the workbook, you can first sit back and kind of reflect on what do I want to grow and learn in my practice of task management and time blocking. Where do I want to make the most movement? Where do I want to make a difference? And you can go through that part, decide in the second part what learning opportunities would make the biggest difference for you. And then you can go to the agenda and the list of speakers and figure out what really would move the needle for you, what really would make the biggest contribution. So you're very conscious about what you want to get from the summit and very directed, as opposed to taking it very casually with not much intention and therefore not too many results. So I recommend that you use the workbook, and if you come on live, that you engage heartily and that you don't miss an opportunity to accomplish the goals in your workbook in the way that you engage with the speakers, other summiteers, and you engage in all the sessions. Now, our intention is for this to be transformational, and we found that the combination of content and interaction with other people is what can make a real big difference for you. And this is while this is about task management and time blocking, it's really underneath it all, it's not about techniques. It's really about, what do you want to use your life for? What do you want to use to accomplish your dreams and your biggest ambitions? People come with ambitions like, goals, like I want to double the revenue in my business. Okay, gotcha. But you could also want to make a difference in the children in your neighborhood by providing them a safe place to play, for example. Or you may want to do something with your parents that you have been putting off and you think would make a difference. Maybe they're in a home and there's something you want to contribute to the home that they're living in. Or maybe, you want to tag on to one of the big causes that are available to give your time to, like global warming. Maybe there's an educational campaign that's being offered in your community that you really admire, you want to be a part of, you want to contribute to, but you haven't. And I can resonate with this a bit because I made the decision to move here to Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica, from the US in 2005. And the only reason I did that was to make the kind of difference that I wanted to make at this macro level. But the reason I'm the host of this summit and why I wrote my books and why I'm into this kind of work is I learned very early on after I moved here is that it's good enough to be not good enough to be committed at this high level to these very awesome goals. make a difference with people that you care about. But it's also important to make a difference on a daily basis with whatever it is that you're committed to. And the Task Management and Time Blocking Summit is all about aligning your daily activity in a very conscious manner with your highest aspirations. In other words, if you don't have the kind of day, if you don't have the kind of schedule, if you don't execute the kind of tasks that are the right ones that make a difference, you won't be able to make the contribution that you can make at a higher level. So I invite you to engage in the summit with that kind of commitment. It's not usual for people to engage in a conference from that point of view, but I can promise you that if you do so, it'll make a huge difference. Not just to you, but you and other people in your life that you care about. So if you haven't yet registered, remember it's free, timeblocking.summit.info. Check it out and get that all access pass if that's something that you want to do. But I'll be at the summit and I look forward to seeing you. So stay tuned. There's a message I want to share with you about the next episode that's coming up here at the Time Management, Task Management, and Time Blocking Podcast. Keep listening. Here's a clip from my next episode with Carl Pullein.
What more do you need? And it was really tough for competitors to enter the market. And then 2009 came and the smartphone revolution. And then, whoa, I mean, it just went rapidly, like just a saturated market with so many different ways to do it. And this is ours. We look at this color and look at our colors and look at that, and look at all these additional features, which is where the bright, shiny object problem really comes from.
And if you want to leave a comment about this episode or any aspect of the work that we're doing here at the Task Management and Time Blocking Podcast, you can go over to www.replytofrancis.info and send me either a message by text or send me a voice message, a voice note. And as you probably know, we have a couple of places that you can interact with other people, talk about this episode. One is at the community, mightytaskers.scheduleu.org, and you'll see the link in the show notes. And the other, of course, is our upcoming Task Management and Time Blocking Summit coming up in March. Two outstanding opportunities to interact with other people about the ideas that you've heard on this podcast or any of our episodes that are coming up. And if you'd like to support the work we're doing, I invite you to click on the Patreon link below to make a donation. And please don't forget to like our show and recommend it to others on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, or whatever podcast app or service you're using. This is Francis Wade. I'm signing out. I hope to see you on a future episode. And until then, take care and all the best. See you later.